everyone, Lori Pagano here. This is your third Audacity tutorial, and this one is to help you learn how to cut your accompaniment track down to the 16 or 32 bar measures that you are using for your audition. I hope you find it helpful. Thanks!
So this is your Audacity tutorial on how to use Audacity to cut your accompaniment tracks to match your 16 to 32 bar audition cuts. The song I'm going to be using today is Good Morning Baltimore, way back from our second show we ever did, Hairspray. I actually made this same cut for one of my students who was doing the 32 bars for their audition for them to be able to practice with. And I have already pulled up Audacity, and I have Good Morning Baltimore already on my desktop right here. And all you need to do is go up to File, click Import, Audio, and I have dropped it on my desktop so I can find it. Most people would look down at music in their iTunes with their computers, but mine being older doesn't like to do that. So I click on Good Morning Baltimore and open it up. Great, so it should have the tracks here now. In previous recordings, you've seen two lines. This one is just a piano track, so it only has one of these lines here. I'm just gonna play a little bit so you can see what it is. So that's the full track for the song Good Morning Baltimore. The section of the song that I had my student do for 32 bars is actually starting at the bridge, which is I know every step, I know every song. I think that was the wrong key, but then you get the point. And what I did from there is from before I drop dead, and then I cut another place, cut the so oh oh give me a chance verse, and went all the way to the key change of the end chorus, I love you, Baltimore. If you have the sheet music, you should be able to see that if you know they're familiar with the song. But what I did is I need to cut the first part of this track so that it'll start right before the bridge. I already looked through this song so I knew approximately where it was, so I wouldn't be wasting time with you guys to find it. So the bridge starts approximately at the 2-minute mark. So I'm just going to click on here. I zoomed in, as you can tell, using this plus button. Sometimes it's easier to see clearly the start of moments based on the size of the little waves here. So right around 2, I'm going to click here so I can hear this. I know every step. So the bum, 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 bum is probably right about here, actually. I know every step. Good. So I don't need any of the stuff before that. The little bum, 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 bum is going to be all my student needs for the little intro. Most of the time you only get either a pitch to start or a measure or two anyway. So I clicked where that was, and then you want to drag your little hand all the way to the beginning of the song. If this wasn't zoomed in so much, you'd be able to cut this a little quicker, but I have zoomed pretty close. And once you go all the way to the left, you have to unclick the pause button up here, or you can't do anything. We talked about that in an earlier thing. You want to go to this little scissors. So the scissors all the way to the left on the top, at least on my screen it is. You want to click that. And now the whole beginning part has disappeared. I know every step. So now we're just starting right before the bridge. Now from there, what I did was I took the bridge into the key change to the ending. So that actually happens, that happens about the 2:15 mark, which I already took from the 2. I did not think that through. That's okay. So about 15 seconds in. So let's try that. Before I drop dead, oh, oh, oh. And that would normally go into another verse, but I'm actually going to go from before I drop dead into the key change to the end chorus. So let's listen to that again. Before I drop dead is what I want to happen. Play that one more time. I'm going to zoom in so I can see exactly where that ends. Before I drop dead. You can see that little bump, 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 bump is starting here. So I'm going to move that right there. I already looked ahead and my chorus comes back. Actually, I'm going to make note of this. This is actually at the 16 and a half mark. So I'm going to go ahead to right around 49 was where it's going to come back. It was 2:49, but like I said, I cut out the first part. There's the key change right there. So bump, 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 bump. So dun, 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 Done. It's right there. Let's look at that. That's why it's sometimes good to zoom in, because you can see those little wave marks and know exactly where the beats are happening. Good. So what I need to do is cut this middle verse out between the moment at the end of the bridge to this key change. The end of the bridge was at 16.5. So I'm going to drag from where I just left off, where that key change happens, all the way, highlight it, drag it all the way to 16.5-ish. You should see right there those little bump, bump, bump is where that new section started. So that should be right about right. I'm going to hit stop, and we want to cut that out. Cut. So now let's listen to what we have as our final product here. So this should go somewhere from before I drop dead. Let's go somewhere from here. Na, 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 before I drop dead, I love you both. So there you go. So I basically took that middle verse out. So we went straight from the bridge to the key change to the end, and then I just had that go to the end, and that was exactly 32 bars. There's of course some other things you can do. You can paste things, like if you needed to double a section because you're repeating something, you can always do that too. Like you would highlight a section and you would hit copy and paste and things like that. But I can always show you that in another future video. But this was your tutorial on how to cut a song for your accompaniment. Thank you, and I hope that this is helpful for you.